good evening, everyone. This is Lauren Dalvia. I'm an astrologer and spiritual teacher here at Bene Mudra. This is an astrological update for December 20th through December 27th. This is a huge week, perhaps the biggest astrological week of the year. We have tomorrow, Monday, December 21st, the winter solstice. The sun is also entering Capricorn. So you're going to feel a shift from the Sagittarius to Capricorn energy. And that is going to mark the shortest day of the year and this sort of yearly turning point. However, this year, it is aligned with the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn at 0 degrees Aquarius. This is new beginnings on multiple levels. And this is certainly these two planets are conjunct one another, which is meaning occupies the same space in the sky every 20 years roughly. However, they have not been this close in 800 years, and other alignments related to this make this a shift from a 26,000 year cycle. This is the unofficial beginning of the age of Aquarius. And what that means is we move from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And what the age of Pisces was about was a lot of patriarchy, a lot of hierarchy, in short, a lot of war, and in short, if you wanted to find religion or if you wanted to find divinity, you had to go to the priests. Now, the age of Aquarius is about if you want to find divinity and you want to find grace, you are the priest. So it's asking us to use that Aquarian energy, which is genius energy, the genius that all of us possess, our higher selves, our visionary selves, our selves that serve our souls. The soul is king, the soul is queen with Aquarian energy. And when we serve our souls, we are of maximum service to the collective. So that is what the song from Hair is about. That is what the age of Aquarius is about. There's been some debate about when this starts. There were placements that happened in 2012 that were sort of also the beginning of this age of Aquarius. But this alignment with these planets in at 0 degrees Aquarius meeting, which is the most powerful degree of this visionary, innovative, collective driven, futuristic sign, is about as powerful as it gets. And what you have with Saturn is you have the planet of discipline and rules and a container and self-mastery, and it's the father. It's making right, doing things a certain way. It's the planet of limitations for the purpose of self-mastery, but limitations nonetheless. Saturn is pay your taxes, and if you don't pay your taxes, they're going to get you. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. They're both boss energies, but they're very, very different. Jupiter is beneficent. Jupiter is Santa Claus. Jupiter amplifies everything he touches. Jupiter smiles upon everything he touches. So it's like a good cop, bad cop situation. They're extremely conflicting energies. They're extremely big energies, and they meet in the sky at 0 degrees. So you're going to see a lot of shift. It's a shift. In addition to the 26,000 year cycle, it's a new 200 year cycle where we move from earth energy on earth to air energy. So that is something that you're going to feel tomorrow. You're going to feel it tonight. And you're going to feel it gradually over time. Like that is one of the many reasons why it's so extraordinary to be alive during this time. So it's new beginnings on multiple levels. It's new thresholds and it's new commitments being accepted, being discarded, being let go. It's a time that's ripe for intention setting and change. So that's a really good thing to do tomorrow as well. And, just to be meditative and merry and open and decide like what you want to create and to write that down and speak it aloud. Additionally, a couple of days later on December 23rd, there's a final square between Mars and Aries, and that's his natural sign, and Pluto in Capricorn. So these are the two most violent planets, strongest planets, if you will. The first two were August 13th and October 9th. And so these placements introduced crisis of power, anger, and force. So this final square is a conclusion with a permanent transformation as a result. So it's just, that is Wednesday of this week, December 23rd. So I'm going to go through every sign and give a little update, but nothing happens. It's like, how do you know something is divine will? Because it is happening. So nothing's going to happen that isn't meant to happen, and nothing is going to be refrained from that isn't meant to be refrained from. But I like to share that these big placements are coming because if we can help ourselves from burning down the house, that's good. If we can't, then we can't. And also, it especially has helped me as a student of astrology and a citizen of humanity to know the names of things. Like, not to, you can't, there's a kind of preparedness that the divine will not let us have. Like, when things need to hit, they're going to hit. But to know that something is a thing, and that it's particularly activated on a certain day, and that it has a name, and that it has an end, and to expect things to feel more violent, expect things to feel more angry, then it helps. It's always helped me feel less nuts, and therefore, burn down the house less, or know that I'm going to be activated to want to burn down the house. And so, to just be able to discern what something might mean. I had a teacher once tell me, like, that pausing in uncomfortable feelings is a feat, and it takes courage, but to pause in them long enough to know what the feeling means, rather than just react, and how dangerous it is to be in reaction to something. So so that's a little preview of the week, for everybody. And I'm just going to give you a little bit, I'm going to give each sign a little hit, starting with Aries, which is the beginning of the astrological year, and astrological wheel. So the Solstice is going to be in your career sector. Jupiter and Saturn are going to be in your social sector. They're highlighting professional goals, personal goals, image, social commitment, however you define social boundaries can be. The Sun and Mercury are going to be in aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer, and Uranus, the great awakener. This can activate stuff around lack or ambition or scarcity in terms of success. But what you're going to be led to with Uranus is a freer path, open, more, with freedom comes more security. So if you fail, this might be an invitation to, go for it in an even bigger way. Like, that's the surprise behind a lot of this. Mars is in your sign. This square to Pluto is going to conclude a crisis that's been active since August 13th and October 9th. That's power struggles with authority. That's like efforts pushing against, like, whatever odds seem too much to bear. This can reach a turning point. This is a time for a breakthrough, a lot of energy. Taurus, the winter solstice, and this conjunction is going down in your area of opportunity. This is professional commitments, new developments in the area of, like, publishing, broadcasting, travel, education, could be long distance relationships, teaching, education, anything teaching, anything philosophy, legal matters. So anything furthering your knowledge, this is connected to new career, new job, radical change, future goals. This is coming up. There can be more responsibility professionally, promotions, anything business related. Everything that's outmoded is done. So you might see an absolute break from an old path. Mars is going to be in your hidden sector in the square to Pluto. So that's concluding this crisis from the 13th of August and the 9th of October. This means background anger. This means hostility. This means any hidden power struggles that may erupt or see you kind of harming yourself in a situation. So you don't want to ignore what's bubbling up that's hidden. You don't want to ignore anger that's simmering. What you're not fully acknowledging will get to you this week. That's the good news. When Pluto is involved, you can't run or hide from him. So, like, what is beneath the surface is unearthed. So lean into the wind and really, get dirty, get deep with that. Gemini, the winter solstice is in your area of shared money, shared resources. Also, these planets are in your opportunities area. So this is kind of flipping a switch on things, anything intimacy oriented. psychological stuff, um, shared finances, whether it's family with family, with a partner, business partner, new rules, new commitments, new desires, new goals, in these areas of like legal, broadcasting, publishing, philosophy, education, all that stuff. Increased focus on growth, pardon me. Uh, like, are you going back to school? Are you going to get your master's degree? Are you going to get a PhD? Are you going to go for that continuing education course? This is going to coincide with emerging issues around like what you impart and what you owe. And I will say, when it comes to money, if it's possible, if you carry a lot of debt, that means you're capable of making a lot of money. That's all that it means. Other things too, but I think people have shame when they carry a lot of debt, and really what it means is like that prosperity channel is actually wide open. It's open and it's really bright. It's just can be like we can not know how to contain it. We can feel like it's maligned, but we can make it work in our favor and really do what we're given. The Mars Pluto square is going to be in your social sector. This is concluding something that started August 13th and perpetuated October 9th. Hostility, tensions, public, friends, groups, anything like that. This can come to a head. Professional image can be impacted. This is depending on how you choose to exercise your anger, how you choose to showcase your power. You just want to be aware of hidden versus outside motivation. You want to use caution this week. It's just there's a lot of energy about the solstice right now that's out there, but this Mars Pluto square is actually a big deal. So you just want to be careful. I say this every week, that that everybody should be meditating, and that meditation is essential for a blissed out life. But it's like, just to know Mars Pluto is not a joke. So that's bubbling up on Tuesday. It's coming to a head on Wednesday. So just use caution when things like violence, accident, anger, that kind of stuff comes up, like just the idea of it. So be mindful, please. Cancer, this solstice is in your relationship sector. These two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, are in your shared resources sector, connected to partnership of all kinds, family, love, romantic love, business. What you see on the surface, which is perhaps a shift in balance between you and another, this is connected to what's going on underneath, right? This is new commitments, new boundaries. All of this is regarding shared finances, anything intimate. Boundaries are essential for intimacy, so that's coming up as well. And anything below the surface, psychological matters. So this is also growth of certain issues that you don't have control over. There can be more success this week, but it will likely be accompanied by increased work on like financial boundaries areas, emotional boundaries in areas. Also, the Sun and Mercury are in this partnership area, aspecting the wounded healer and Uranus, which is it's like this deep wound, and then this like activating principle are stirring up public, anything relationship wise, partner to partner, painful conversations, observations about the future, plans about the future and issues, anything about success. A partner or a competitor could be a trigger. It's a beautiful invitation, not an invitation to go into the rabbit hole and be disturbed and be with limiting beliefs. We are 86ing limiting beliefs, and this is an invitation to just really like lean in to what the trigger is trying to teach us and to do things differently. The Mars Pluto square is concluding this crisis in your career sector from August to October 9th. Power struggles with a partner or a competitor can reach a peak as this sort of balance of power is tested and concluded. A final push can kind of really alchemize the way you assert yourself and express your desire. Watch for manipulative tactics. Don't allow your strings to be pulled by somebody else's influence or perceived prestige. Like, this is your world this week, and to just like stay close to whatever connection to divinity you have, and you will know the way. Leo, the solstice is in your sector of routine. Jupiter and Saturn are in your partnership sector. This is a new chapter. New chapter with work, any kind of daily obligations, health. These are obligations to others. Fresh relationship development this week, increased responsibility, perhaps rules. This is with one-on-one connection. This can be part of a relationship's growth. This is all for growth, This is all for awakening. It depends on your willingness to commit and how you handle the increased weight of what's happening. A partner can experience success and major new goals. Like, how are you going to support that? How are you going to hold that? What will the balance exist between you? If an existing relationship is not going smoothly, this conjunction could signify an ending that opens up an expansive future for both of you separately. Who knows? It's like this is a door opening this week. Mars is in your sector of opportunities in the square with Pluto. August 13th, October 9th. This is the third placement. Be mindful of risky behavior and dangerous, kind of tense or dangerous scenarios in the area of publishing, broadcasting, legality, legal matters, documents, education, foreign matters, foreign travel, things like that. Just be careful, just be above board. You got to dot your I's and cross your T's. It's like kind of like a little bit more violent version of Mercury retrograde. It's Mercury, it's like it's Mars and Pluto. So it's unearthing something that is festering, but it's not festering right below the surface. It's festering deep within the waters within, because it's ready to alchemize and transform. Pluto is the kind of change that we don't come back from because we can't help it. Because we need to shift. Pluto gets a bad rap, but Pluto is also a butterfly that once was a caterpillar. So you just want to be careful. Like, you want to allow yourself to follow a path that naturally is moving towards the future. Like this movement, all this Aquarian energy that I'm talking about, we're going to the future. This isn't about the past. You want to fight for what you believe in, and you want to move forward in the face of resistance. And just be aware that permanent transformation is going to open the door to a lot of new situations, only for your benefit and for the benefit of the collective that you are offering. Virgo, the winter solstice is in your sector of self-expression. Jupiter and Saturn are also in your sector of routine. So this is good developments in terms of new relationships, new attractions involving work or romance, anything creative work, creation of children, everything, pregnancy, things like that. This connects a new chapter to daily life and health and obligations. Increased discipline and responsibilities will grow. What do you want to create or enjoy will be dependent on your attention to daily details. Good thing for you, Virgo, that's easy for you. Mars is in your sector of shared resources in the square to Pluto. So deeply uncomfortable struggle involving shared finances, intimacy, buried anger, psychological issues, anything below the surface. This reaches a turning point. Efforts to push or dominate will unearth the truth about what you are capable of and what you can't have, or what you really feel. This is like truth serum time. So if you stick with your meticulousness, you stick with your heart, you open your heart and let that integrate. Let your meticulousness, let that way that you communicate with the divine merge with your desires, and then this transformation will be complete in this sector. Libra, the solstice is in your domestic sector. These two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, are in your area of self-expression. So this is family issues or stuff from the past. This is connected to a new chapter. This is connected to creative work, new relationships, children and pregnancy. Increased responsibilities about what you want will expand along for the potential success and the growth of your confidence. But the start of this chapter will demand more of a focus of what you have to do to take your talents really seriously. So new attractions can develop into something more serious, business or romance. Also, this Mars-Pluto square is in your relationship sector. So this is connected to August 13th, October 9th. This is volatile issues with a partner or competitor can conclude as one last surge of enforced change or anger can arise. So the balance between you and another can be permanently transformed as you deal with like any aggression. So it's just like the propensity for movement and shift is really there this week for Libra. And so it's also like watch your anger. So it's like just knowing that these things can come up. It's not like 100% guarantee that all this anger and violence is going to come up, but like that's what, Mars and Pluto are really intense energies. So it's like it's the propensity that the notion is going to arise is high. Scorpio, winter solstice is in your communication sector. These two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, are in your domestic sector. This introduces crucial messages, ideas, conversations that connect you to a new chapter in family life, home life. This might be, new people in the family, relocation, just increased responsibility on the home front, or starting a business at home. You'll be committing to some domestic goals likely, and your success depends on how you handle these new domestic rules, but that you have a great deal to do with the creation of them. This can mean a shift in a domestic relationship as well. The Mars-Pluto square is concluding a crisis, August 13th, October 9th. This is daily work, service to others, stuff going on, pesky stuff with health. This can trigger a final surge of energy, frustration. There's a potential to push past a physical limit or complete a challenging project, but you want to move with caution. The Scorpio energy is very high this week, and it's even higher with Mars Pluto. So just like that brute force of will can be destructive. So just do exercise caution. Sagittarius, winter solstice is in your area of personal resources. Jupiter, your ruling planet, and Saturn is in your communication sector. This suggests developments involving shared income, values, or self-esteem. This is connected to new ideas, messages, meetings, conversations, associations with others. Watch for the need to focus on a course of education. Watch for a new way of communicating to emerge. Success in delivering your message with authority is a possible result. This is a good week for Sagittarius, but limits and mental discipline will be necessary. You've got to be discerning. In some cases, there can be things can be made official this week, contracts, things like that. Mars and the Mars-Pluto square is in your self-expression sector. This is the crisis the crisis that's concluding since that began August 13th and continued October 9th. This is efforts to win, express your creativity, or pursue what you want. This is bringing you to a turning point. If you succeed, it means you've managed your energy carefully and haven't succumbed to unconscious fears and anger. So it's really important to stay in your own lane. Pushing too hard can disrupt finances and stability. So you just want to meditate and stay in your own lane. Whatever the outcome, be prepared to move on with increased awareness of how competition works, anger works, and just know, I was telling everyone that Tuesday into Wednesday, it's an aggression. Aggression is going to come up. So just be mindful of that. Capricorn, solstice is in your sign, obviously. Jupiter and Saturn are in your area of personal resources. This is a major turning point around money, self-worth, and values. Watch for new boundaries and focus that hints at future success while emphasizing you need to work harder. That's easy for you. Developing emerging values and this sort of no-nonsense approach to next year, which is a total boss year. The new you is going to involve desire and goals that are now part of a new identity. The Mars-Pluto square is in your domestic area. So this concludes a crisis from August and October, difficult domestic issues involving renovation, relocation, just revisiting anger from the past, triggers, arguments. This can be stressful, but it's also at a point where you turn a corner. So permanent change is waiting, depending on your willingness to purge these outmoded ways of being and scenarios that no longer work. It's a really good week for Capricorn. Aquarius, the solstice is in your hidden sector. The planets Jupiter and Saturn both in your sign, right at the beginning at 0 degrees. This suggests a major new goal or project or lifestyle that is connected to a shift in energy or commitment behind the scenes. Increased awareness of what's private or not openly acknowledged will form the basis for this new chapter that can see you dealing with how you do new ways of seeing success. Also, the Sun and Mercury are in your hidden sector as well, to the aspecting the wounded healer and Uranus, the great awakener. This can indicate painful secrets or uncomfortable issues you're not comfortable going public with, or even like really admitting to anyone. However, this is all part of progress that's happening at home with family, moving on from the past. We have to confront these sensitive issues and these triggers. Mars Pluto square is in your communication sector. This concludes a crisis that's active since August 13th and October 9th. A struggle to assert your views or win an argument usually involving something hidden, manipulation. This reaches a turning point. You may or may not win, but you can break through a barrier that's prevented you from integrating words with actions. So there's a merging with like what you're feeling with like what you're able to communicate. So that's also really positive for Aquarius. You're going into a big time in general, not just this week, and that's very exciting. Pisces, the solstice is in your social sector. Jupiter and Saturn are in your hidden sector. They align. You're crossing a public threshold with a private new beginning. This beginning will be based on an ending of a major part of your life, perhaps secret fears and responsibilities with what you're dealing with, but what you're building now is still in a gestation phase. You're not ready to go public with this likely, but it's coming. Sun and Mercury is in your social sector with this wounded healer placement and Uranus, the great awakener. This suggests awkward, public associations, announcements, potential. You fortify yourself so you don't feel exposed. However, social discomfort is also your cue to say it differently or open your eyes to what the divine is kind of showing you, new truths that are being indicated. Allow yourself to envision a future that is different. The Mars-Pluto square is in your sector of personal resources, and this is concluding that crisis that's been active since mid-August and reactivated in mid-October. Struggles involving money or self-esteem, they can reach a peak. A pressure you felt from others will dissipate as the issue passes. However, the result can be a permanent change to your financial status and social image, which may be for the best. So it looks good. It's just it's like you're in a holding pattern this week, and there's also a chance to like really gestate and grow and just like see things differently. It's not very public right now, but it will be soon enough. So that concludes my update. Everybody rest, everybody meditate, everybody please set intentions. If you watch this update after the solstice, it's still time. The energy is so strong in the days following the solstice. Just keep your head about you and your heart, on just keep that gentleness, keep that equanimity on Wednesday, as that Pluto Mars square. What is unearthed through Pluto cannot be avoided, but if we could just know that it's a thing, sometimes we can just, be as calm as possible. I am available on the Bene Mudra website for private astrological consultation and spiritual teaching. I can also be found on Instagram at Lauren, LAUREN _Dalvia, DALVIA is my personal account, and at 1111 Guided is my business account. And I thank you so much. This is a big week, and I wish you rest and prosperity and alchemy.